Ronnie and Reggie Cray, Bree and Nikki Bella, nice, Dylan and Cole Sprouse, Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, maybe for Hollywood, Fook Me and Fook You. That's not mine, that's Austin Powers, but it's real, look it up. Like the aforementioned, what we have here are twins, and what we'd like to do is take you through the variations to see which one comes out on top in a bit of sibling rivalry. The 2019 Ford EcoSports, starring the 1-liter EcoBoost Titanium and the 1.5-liter Titanium. Now, for the purposes of speed and to get things really moving along, we're going to focus on the 1-liter EcoBoost Titanium and tell you what this guy has over the 1.5-liter Titanium. A massive grille and good ground clearance greets you up front, as too with huge housings for the fog lamps, biggest I've ever seen really for a car of this size. Now, I'm still trying to get used to the height because they are slightly elevated, but they do serve their purpose. What I do have a qualm with is the signal lights, which are located down here as opposed to being up top. Now, in the highway, not really a problem because you've got distance between cars, but in the city when you're much closer together, like a boxing match, yeah, that might be a visibility issue. Speaking of visibility, this 1-liter has got LEDs DRLs, while the 1.5 has halogens and no DRLs. Now, corner windows on the A-pillars, repeaters on the side mirrors, simple lines along the doors, 17-inch mags, 50 series tires can be found on both variants, as too with a ground clearance of 209 millimeters, which is 9 millimeters higher than the previous model. The EcoSport is one of very few subcompact crossovers with the tire hitched on the outside, which means that the rear tail opens in this manner. Now, both factors contribute to the fact that that gives you much more trunk space, 335 liters to be exact. That's with the seats up. When you fold them down, that's 1,178 liters. And that's a lot. Now, be it up front or in the back, what sets it apart immediately, and you can tell with the naked eye, is the 1-liter EcoBoost is actually clad with more durable leather. They have the same amount of toys in the back, which is to say a center armrest with 2 cup holders and bottle holders on either door. That's really about it. No air vents here in the back. There is, however, 2 buttons that you can find here in the center, which unlocks all the doors around the car. Now, it's a great idea, but not really the best place to put if you've got kids here in the back, and that actually might be a problem. Space-wise, well, we'll get to that in just a bit. Although there are very many adjustments that you can make to find the perfect driving position, like a telescopic steering wheel and a seat height adjuster, the EcoSport seats pretty tall, really, like the way its exterior looks, and the interior sort of like supports that in the same way. The interior is exactly like the other car, which is the 1.5, save maybe for the technologies that can be found in this car and not in the other, such as automatic lights, you've got an automatic dimming rear view mirror, and a start-stop function, which I'm not really a big fan of, and I've said this from the very beginning. What's cool though, what you can find in here as well as the other variant, is that you've got a large trip display computer in the center with all the information that you need, so you don't have to toggle through so many times, which I actually love, and a wide 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system with Sync 3. That is a breeze to use. Oh, and also, sunroof. To get a full list of the differences and to compare them with one another, or to get a quote, or to get a test drive, it's all under one roof. Just click here. Compact crossover. So space is a major topic. I'm a small dude, so really not a problem. But what if there was a large individual sitting up front? How would they fare? Even more so, what if there was a large individual sitting behind the large individual up front? Confused yet? I grabbed the camera from Vincent and put him in the back of the EcoSport, while the managing director himself of Ford Philippines, Mr. Bertrand Lassard, helps us out. Skeptical I was, I mean, come on, but...
Do you believe me? Now I believe you. I told you.
He's actually one pretty cool dude. We went on a drive recently with Mr. Lassard to ask him some important, but mostly some useless questions. It was a lot of fun. If you missed it, check out the video. I promise you, you won't regret it. The 1.5 Titanium pushes out 121 horses and 150 Nm of torque, while this, the 1-liter EcoBoost, pushes out 123 horses and 170 Nm of torque, thanks largely to its turbo. It's not a Formula 1 car, but it is rather impressive how much they can squeeze out from such a small displacement. In relation to the car, the windows are actually quite large. Visibility is great all around thanks to the heightened seating position, and the quarter windows on the A-pillars help ever so even marginally. Now, that seat height though, that being seating up high, that might be a problem on longer drives. It will start to get the toll on your lower back. It's an adjustment that you can make and get used to, so it's not really a big problem, but for first-time drivers, yeah, that can catch you off guard. If you take this guy out for a test drive, you'll notice that the steering is actually very, very light. Sure, at low speeds you expect that, but at higher speeds you want it to get heavier, right? It doesn't really tighten up that much, so it's kind of very responsive on the highway. So for first-time drivers, be careful, because it is, like I said, very light. Ride quality, pretty good. Impressive, really, considering these are 17s and 50 series tires. For such a tiny car, you'd expect it to bounce a little bit more, but no, it actually feels pretty good. NVH, not bad at all. We're doing what, 70 kilometers per hour? We just went over some rumble strips, the aircon's on high. It's quiet. Sound is a pound in here. Pretty good. Okay, so the big question, fuel economy. Here we go. We took these cars under extremely heavy traffic, and I'm talking Carmageddon, Exodus, like Vincent unhappy traffic. Come to think of it, this is Vincent's face when he's happy. So basically traffic that you wouldn't wish even on your worst enemy. How did they do? Well, the 1.5 did 6 kilometers to the liter, while the EcoBoost did 5.6, which is pretty bad. But we stretched its legs on the highway, and then they were able to produce 17.5 and 20 kilometers to the liter, respectively. So really, nice save. The 2019 Ford EcoSport 1.5 Titanium comes in at 1,098,000 Philippine pesos, while the 1-liter EcoBoost comes in at 1,188,000 Philippine pesos. Now, both cars actually sit closer to the more affordable price range of the subcompact crossovers. Now, normally I'd spring for the top of the line, what more so now that they're only separated by 90,000 Philippine pesos. But in this case, the EcoBoost has things that I'm not really actually going to use. Like, say, for example, the start-stop function, which I'm not a really big fan of. And plus, I need a car that's actually more economical inside the city than outside. In your case, that might differ. You might actually travel outside the city more often and need a car that's got better legs. The beauty about the twins is that they can serve different purposes. Now, parents aren't going to admit this, but they do have a favorite child, even amongst twins. And in this case, it's going to be this guy.